Embarking on a spiritual awakening journey transforms your entire being in ways you might never have anticipated. It goes far beyond merely uncovering deeper meanings in life. It's about experiencing a profound inner metamorphosis that fundamentally alters your perception of reality. Yet amidst this beautiful unfolding, many spiritual seekers encounter an unexpected challenge. Watching friendships that once seemed central to their lives gradually fade away. This particular aspect of awakening can trigger feelings of confusion and self-doubt. Have I somehow failed these relationships? You might wonder as familiar connections become increasingly distant. I want to reassure you, friend, that this natural evolution of your social circle is actually a positive sign that your spiritual journey is progressing exactly as it should. What causes these friendship dynamics to shift during times of spiritual growth? Let's explore together the powerful reasons why you might lose friends during a spiritual awakening, and why this experience, though sometimes painful, ultimately serves your highest evolution. 1. You've outgrown them. When spiritual awakening begins stirring within you, you're not simply changing, you're evolving into a more conscious, connected version of yourself. This transformation resembles the miracle of a caterpillar becoming a butterfly, not merely an improvement, but a complete reconstitution of your being. This evolution transcends simply gathering spiritual information. It fundamentally alters how you perceive both yourself and the world around you. As one wise teacher observed, growth is painful, change is painful, but nothing is as painful as staying stuck somewhere you don't belong. As your consciousness expands, everything about you naturally transforms. Your interests evolve, your beliefs deepen, and even your sense of humor undergoes refinement. Activities that once captivated you might suddenly seem hollow, while subjects you previously dismissed now fascinate you. Jokes that once triggered laughter might no longer resonate, replaced by appreciation for life's more profound mysteries. Consider this real-world example. Imagine someone who awakens to environmental consciousness, who finds it increasingly difficult to participate in wasteful consumer activities with friends who remain unaware of ecological impacts. Or picture someone developing a meditation practice, who can no longer engage in the gossip-filled conversations that once dominated their social circle. This natural divergence doesn't indicate fault on anyone's part. It simply reflects souls journeying at different speeds and in different directions during this phase of life. Remember the ancient wisdom that people enter our lives for different divine purposes, some for a reason, some for a season, and a precious few for a lifetime. As one spiritual philosopher reflected, letting go doesn't mean that you don't care about someone anymore. It's just realizing that the only person you really have control over is yourself. Your spiritual evolution will naturally reshape your social landscape. This isn't about abandoning others, but about authentic alignment. Sometimes walking portions of your path alone, or with new companions who resonate with your transformed energy, is exactly what your soul requires for continued expansion. 2. You are more true to yourself. Embracing your authentic nature becomes a cornerstone of spiritual awakening. This process resembles peeling away layers of societal conditioning to reveal your genuine essence, the real you that has been hidden beneath expectations, cultural programming, and the masks you've worn to gain acceptance. This newfound authenticity brings both liberation and challenges, especially regarding your established relationships. Have you ever worn a social mask for so long that you nearly forgot your true face? Then suddenly, in a moment of awakening, you remove it completely. The world now encounters your authentic self, and you perceive reality through clear, undistorted vision. This revelation creates ripples not only within you, but among those accustomed to your previous persona. Friends who connected with your constructed identity might feel disoriented or even threatened by your emerging authentic self. Like a magnificent tree undergoing seasonal transformation, some branches of your life remain temporarily bare, while others burst forth with new growth. During this sacred unveiling, You may lose connections with people who were attached to your former self, the person you portrayed rather than who you truly are. This natural separation doesn't indicate failure on anyone's part. It simply means your paths are diverging, like two forest trails that once ran parallel now heading in different directions. You're courageously choosing the path, aligned with your soul's truth. Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken, goes the timeless wisdom. This truth resonates profoundly during spiritual awakening. You begin embracing your unique perspectives, intuitive gifts, and authentic expression, which might conflict with the expectations of your previous social circle. This misalignment isn't a shortcoming, but evidence of your spiritual growth and integrity. Remember that genuine friendship celebrates authentic connection. Releasing relationships that cannot accommodate your true self creates sacred space for connections that honor and nurture your authentic nature. As you transform, your relationship landscape naturally reconfigures, making room for deeper and more spiritually aligned connections. Being true to yourself means aligning your external existence with your inner wisdom and spiritual values. While this journey may necessitate releasing certain relationships, it simultaneously guides you toward kindred spirits who appreciate and celebrate your authentic expression. This represents the profound beauty of spiritual awakening. It brings you into communion with souls who resonate with your genuine frequency, fostering relationships built on spiritual authenticity rather than convenience or habit. 3. They weren't real friends. A spiritual awakening functions like a powerful spotlight illuminating aspects of your life previously hidden in shadows, including the true nature of your friendships. As your awareness expands, you begin discerning who genuinely supports your evolution and who was present for more superficial reasons. Imagine suddenly illuminating a room you've navigated in darkness. Objects that seemed familiar reveal their true form, and what you thought provided support might show itself as merely an illusion. Some relationships, you'll discover, resembled fair-weather companions, present only when circumstances benefited them. Your awakening might reveal uncomfortable truths. Certain friends valued what you provided, whether material resources, social status, emotional support, or other benefits, rather than cherishing your essential being. They resembled leaves that adorn a tree during abundant seasons, but detach at the first hint of challenge. These weren't authentic friendships but conditional arrangements, and your spiritual growth has simply exposed this reality. As your consciousness expands and your personal boundaries strengthen, your tolerance for inauthentic connections naturally diminishes. This shift can unsettle those who benefited from your previous patterns, or who thrived on your former lack of discernment. Through your awakened perception, you recognize these imbalanced dynamics for what they truly are: relationships that deplete rather than nourish your spirit. This realization doesn't mean you're actively rejecting people. Rather, your spiritual evolution is simply exposing relationship foundations that cannot sustain authentic connection. As the beautiful metaphor suggests, friends are like stars. They come and go, but the ones that stay are the ones that glow. True soul connections withstand transformation because they are rooted in mutual respect, unconditional acceptance, and spiritual understanding, not transactional benefit or convenience. These authentic bonds often strengthen during your awakening, as genuine friends celebrate your evolution rather than resisting it. I should acknowledge that not every friendship that concludes during your spiritual journey stemmed from inauthentic intentions. Sometimes souls travel together for a particular segment of life's journey before naturally diverging toward different experiences. Picture two sacred rivers flowing side by side before naturally branching toward different destinations. Neither river is wrong for following its unique course. A friendship's conclusion doesn't always indicate failure or inauthenticity. Sometimes it simply signals that the spiritual purpose for your connection has been fulfilled. Perhaps you learned what you needed from each other, or perhaps your energetic frequencies no longer align. Trust that the universe orchestrates these shifts with perfect wisdom, allowing each soul to continue its unique evolutionary path. 4. You want solitude. One of the most profound discoveries during spiritual awakening is recognizing the sacred power of solitude. This revelation transforms your relationship with being alone, helping you understand that solitude doesn't equal loneliness. In fact, it becomes the gateway to your deepest connection with the universe. This distinction becomes increasingly valuable as your spiritual journey naturally separates you from certain social patterns. Embracing solitude transcends merely being physically alone. It's about creating the sacred space necessary for spiritual expansion. During these quiet moments in your own presence, you engage in the soul-nourishing practice of self-reflection. Your awareness deepens, allowing you to observe your thoughts, examine your patterns, and clearly perceive your spiritual direction with unprecedented clarity. Consider solitude as the wise choice of an evolving soul. Imagine yourself as an artist stepping back from life's canvas to appreciate the complete masterpiece you're creating. In the peaceful sanctuary of being alone, you discover the quiet necessary to hear your inner wisdom, that divine voice often obscured by external noise and others' expectations. These moments of sacred solitude provide essential rejuvenation, offering respite from the constant energetic exchanges of social interaction. This quiet time reduces stress, allows your energy field to expand naturally, and replenishes your spiritual reserves. Just as the earth needs fallow periods to restore fertility, your spirit requires solitude to maintain its vibrance. Appreciating solitude extends beyond simply tolerating time alone. It represents arriving at a spiritual milestone where you genuinely cherish your own company. When you extend compassion to yourself for past limitations and embrace your authentic nature, you naturally find joy in communing with your own spirit. This self-acceptance transforms solitude from something feared into something treasured. During these private moments, you invest in profound self-discovery and spiritual development. You cultivate your unique gifts, explore your deepest passions, and nurture your connection to the divine. Imagine this as a sacred romance with your own soul, discovering its preferences, honoring its wisdom, celebrating its unique beauty, and tending to areas seeking healing and growth. As you heal any lingering loneliness through embracing solitude, your approach to friendship undergoes a beautiful transformation. You no longer pursue connections from fear of being alone, but rather from a desire for genuine spiritual resonance. Your relationships evolve from quantity to quality, from surface interactions to soul connections. You naturally seek friendships with those who understand your spiritual journey, respect your need for sacred alone time, and align with your authentic self. Valuing solitude represents spiritual maturity, recognizing that communion with yourself provides the foundation for all other connections. By embracing this sacred alone time, you're not merely tolerating your own company. You're developing the profound self-love and spiritual understanding that makes solitude not just acceptable but deeply fulfilling and essential to your continued awakening. 5. You value quality over quantity. As your spiritual awakening deepens, you'll notice a natural refinement occurring in your social circle. While your friendships may decrease in number, they increase exponentially in depth and meaning. This shift from numerous superficial connections to fewer, but more profound relationships marks an important evolution in your spiritual journey. Envision your friendships as a sacred garden you're tenderly cultivating. As your consciousness expands, you become a more discerning spiritual gardener, carefully considering what energies deserve nourishment in your personal space. You might compassionately remove plants that no longer thrive in your elevated vibration, creating room for relationships that offer deeper roots and more vibrant spiritual blossoms. The friends who remain through your transformation resemble those resilient, deeply rooted plants that weather all seasons. These spiritual companions intuitively understand your evolution, resonate with your authentic expression, and enrich your life in ways that transcend ordinary friendship. They mirror aspects of your higher self, and support your continued growth rather than resisting your transformation. This yearning for deeper connection reflects a fundamental shift in what you now value in relationships. Surface-level interactions and casual acquaintances no longer satisfy your soul's longing for authentic engagement. Instead, you seek conversations that penetrate beyond appearances into the realm of truth, relationships where you can share your spiritual insights, existential questions, and soul aspirations without fear of judgment or misunderstanding. While these soul-level connections are less common, they offer a richness and fulfillment previously unimaginable. As you progress along your spiritual path, you'll discover these deeper bonds provide a quality of understanding and compassion that casual friendships simply cannot match. These kindred spirits stand with you through both challenges and triumphs, reflecting your highest potential while loving you through your human moments of doubt and struggle. They aren't merely friends, they're soul family recognizing each other again. Remember that the natural departure of certain friends isn't rejection, but divine realignment. Your social universe is reorganizing to match your elevated frequency and spiritual purpose. As you continue awakening, you naturally attract and maintain connections with souls who vibrate in harmony with your evolving consciousness. Those who appreciate the depth and authenticity you now bring to every interaction. Your spiritual awakening guides you to treasure the profound quality of your relationships rather than their quantity. The friends who journey forward with you are those who truly comprehend and complement your spiritual evolution. These sacred connections add immeasurable depth and meaning to your life, transforming your awakening journey from a potentially lonely path into a beautiful shared pilgrimage with kindred spirits. 6. You don't try to please them. One of the most liberating aspects of spiritual awakening is the gradual dissolution of your need for external approval. This profound shift represents your movement from seeking validation outside yourself to discovering your worth within. It marks your courageous departure from the exhausting game of people-pleasing toward a life of spiritual authenticity. Many of us have played the role of people-pleaser at various points in our lives. We've modified our opinions, suppressed our truth, and even altered our essential nature hoping to gain acceptance. But as your spiritual consciousness expands, you recognize this constant seeking of external validation as a mirage leading you away from your authentic self, an endless pursuit that depletes your energy without ever truly fulfilling your soul. Imagine wearing an elaborate mask carefully crafted to win approval in different social contexts. This mask represents all the compromises you've made to your true identity for the sake of acceptance and conflict avoidance. During your awakening, you gradually realize this mask not only constrains your spirit, but also prevents genuine connection. You understand that authentic relationships form not through careful impression management, but through courageous truth-telling and vulnerable self-expression. As you release this ingrained need for others' approval, you might notice certain friends naturally drifting from your life, particularly those accustomed to your accommodating, people-pleasing persona. This happens because your newly authentic self no longer conforms to their expectations, or perhaps no longer serves their unspoken needs. This separation doesn't reflect any deficiency in your worth, but simply indicates these relationships depended on you playing a role rather than being your true self. This transformation brings unprecedented freedom into your life. The constant pressure to perform or seek validation dissolves, allowing your interactions to become genuinely authentic and your connections truly meaningful. You begin attracting relationships with people who appreciate your unfiltered self, souls who love you not despite your truth, but because of it. Embracing your authentic nature means transcending the need for constant attention and affirmation from others. Instead, you discover contentment and confidence within yourself, recognizing your inherent worthiness regardless of external opinion. This internal shift liberates you to live in alignment with your spiritual truth, free from the exhausting effort of trying to be everything to everyone. Growing beyond the compulsion to please others represents a significant milestone in your spiritual evolution. It means removing the mask of conformity and embracing your divine, authentic expression. This transformation not only brings inner peace and self-acceptance, but also creates space for relationships based on spiritual truth rather than conditional approval. It marks your courageous step toward living in harmony with your soul's wisdom rather than others' expectations, a life of genuine integrity and authentic power.